Prolife of Reddit, what should we do with the unwanted children that would otherwise be aborted? So I feel like I've read through hundreds of comments and none are from pro-lifers answering the question. I have a modest proposal. I'm not pro-life, but my brother who is staunchly pro-life says that every child deserves free healthcare, school, food, and housing. Literally want for nothing until they are adults and then hopefully with the skills knowledge that's been provided, begin taking care of themselves. I happen to agree, only wish that it extended beyond just kids. But baby steps I guess. Make them work in the mines. Fix the entire shit system when it comes to kids. Adoption. Foster care. Everything needs to be addressed. If the mother wanted an abortion and their state laws prevented it from happening, then the child should be supported by that state's government until 18. And would you agree to the tax increases necessary to make that happen? This topic is my most frequent counterpoint to people who believe capitalism can cure all ills. It's great for scaling industry and solving inefficiencies, but there will never be any money in orphans. Barring some modest proposal type stuff. Significant subsidies for daycare would be a good start. Private, quality daycare costs thousands per month. Most couples cannot afford this and should receive vouchers so they can. Just because people are poor or middle class doesn't mean they should put their kids in high risk. Unlicensed daycare. I don't think you'll actually find a pro-lifer on our Askreddit or one that won't be downvoted into oblivion for giving an honest answer, but you could always go the North Korean government route and sell them into slavery to the Chinese. Make it easier and cheaper for loving families to adopt. They should become desperate parents that are easily exploited in the workforce as cheap, dispensable labor that invariably raise the next generation of easily exploited labor that will follow right along in their parents' footsteps since they were left with no time to raise them properly. That is the actual plan. The quiet part said out loud. Give it to the pro-lifers to adopt. We should invest in comprehensive sex education, accessible contraception, and support systems for expectant parents to reduce unwanted pregnancies while fostering a society that values and cares for every child. Mars colony. That is an oversimplified question that assumes that all abortions are elective. Pregnancy, despite what movies, TV, and evangelical Christians would have you believe, is not a beautiful, natural thing for all women. Complications are extremely common, and many can be life-threatening for the mother. There is no one-size-fits-all in this, which is why total abortion bans are sheer evil. Obviously, we should cut all state and federal funding for welfare programs that support low-income families and early childhood development. Let's also shoot down ideas like free school lunches, and make sure to reduce the pool of potential adopters by using religion as a criteria. The same people who vote pro-life tend to support these things, or vote for the politicians who support these things. So clearly they don't care about the kids once they're born. They're not pro-life. They're pro-birth. I'm not pro-life, but as someone who was adopted, the adoption scapegoat makes me want to die. There are already 4 million kids in foster care in the US alone. When they age out, they'll be homeless. If you believe in adoption so much, encourage people to start the process. They're God's children too. The process takes at least 9-10 months. Then they can go down to their local agency and pick one up. We literally don't need any more babies. Deadpan face. Let the embryos go. Most states won't even feed kids breakfast at school. Going to take care if these children not a single pro-lifers, it's a joke. Hear me out. What if governments actually cared and invested more finances in institutions that need it? What if orphanages, education and adoption systems had high enough budgets that people would willingly become caretakers and teachers? And you could afford to have strict vetting processes to ensure high-quality personnel. To answer your question, I would much rather a baby put in a high-quality orphanage with proper care and facilities, rather than that baby be put to death. I can't seem to find one pro-life person on this post at all. Infant Boxing League. Soylent Greens. For everyone who thinks adoption is the answer. Serious question. How do you suggest a pregnant woman who can't afford the child should pay for 9 months of healthcare, nutritious food, and the hopefully uncomplicated birth? Medicaid doesn't cover everyone. Pro-lifers regularly tout adoption as the answer to this question with no fucking idea what they're talking about, while also ducking the fact that the systems and infrastructure surrounding adoptable children must be able to protect, support, and educate them even if nobody adopts them. I remember a similar question like this was asked on Facebook. Someone said they should send all the orphans, foster kids and unwanted kids to red states. They claim that a life is a life, and tell refugees poor people need help. I'ma just put this out there. It's no coincidence that 18 years after Roe v. Wade was decided that crime rates plummeted. Those unwanted children that would have grown up in abusive and neglected homes were never born to become criminals. If you want to stop crime, you gotta prevent it from happening. Scissor. Pro-life anti-choice. People will say adoption, but they don't see the rehoming pages on Facebook and other social media of people rehoming children they adopted. They will say foster care and completely ignore the horror stories of children in foster care. They will say they should stay with the parent and the parent should suck it up and provide, but turn a blind eye to the children impregnated by family members, the people who are addicted to substances who will lose custody, and the overwhelming amount of children dealing with neglect, sexual and emotional abuse that fall through the cracks. Start at the source and do more about sex education and the consequences. Post this question in r Ask Conservatives. They are anti-abortion, not pro-life. I'm pro-choice, but just wanted to point out that there are about 10,000 adoption applications per year in the US. But about 1m unwanted pregnancies. Too many of y'all think pregnancy is safe. The person that is pregnant needs to be considered before the fetus and adoption. And too many of y'all think irresponsible people should be trusted to become responsible. Thing is, it's not just about what to do with the baby. I can't think of anything more horrifying than pregnancy, and it's equally as horrifying that the government is forcing it on people when science can stop it.